Verina High School. She also teaches classes on basic life skills and workplace readiness. She created a yoga and mindfulness program for her school community called Verina on Chill. And one of her mottos is, we cannot care for the people in our lives if we do not take care of ourselves. So welcome, Michelle. We really look forward to your teaching us about better self-care.
Thank you so much, Margaret. I'm happy to be here again. My name is Michelle Landon. I am a yoga and mindfulness teacher. This is the 11th year that I've been teaching. I've been practicing yoga and mindfulness for about 15 years now. And this is my 5th year. A little later in life, I did a career switcher program to go back and become a high school teacher. And the title of my session today has to do with yoga and mindfulness for caregivers. And all of us are caregivers on some level, whether we're caring, for our own children, our families, but specifically you all here who have chosen to volunteer and do this very important work in the community. You are all caregivers, and thank you for doing that and just being a part of this community and the work that you're doing. It is important that we all as human beings take care of our wellness always. Wellness being a mind, body, spirit thing, all things combined. It's without our own personal wellness, we have nothing left to offer the people in our lives. And certainly when we are doing the work of caregivers, we are constantly giving. And we do that selflessly, and we do it, we continue to do it. And oftentimes we get so wrapped up in all the things that we're doing for other people that we neglect ourselves. And we cannot pour from an empty vessel. I'm sure you've heard that expression before. Various teachers in my life have used the analogy of when you're going on a flight and the flight attendant is talking about the air mask. The first person that you're supposed to put your mask on is yourself, because if you don't have your mask and if you're not breathing yourself, you can't take care of the people around you. You can't take care of your child that's next to you. So without that care for ourselves, we cannot do this work that we're all here doing. Excuse me, I have a tickle in my throat. And I wanted to, before I share with you some practices, I do want to just touch on something called compassion fatigue, which is something that I myself, as a high school teacher, I know that I have experienced, and I've done some more learning about it recently. But compassion fatigue, the definition, is a condition characterized by emotional and physical exhaustion, leading to a diminished ability to empathize and feel compassion. Sometimes it's called secondary traumatic stress. So those of us that are in situations where we are caring for people who are going through their own traumatic stuff, it's often that us caregivers with our empathetic hearts, we take on those other people's traumas, and it gets stuck in our bodies energetically, in our spirits, and we hold on to that too. And over time, if we're not taking care of ourselves, it can really lead to burnout. It can lead to exhaustion. Some symptoms could include feeling the need to isolate. When you're done with your duties as your caregiver, you don't want to see anybody else or talk to anybody else. You just have to be alone because you literally have nothing else left to give. It can manifest in our bodies, maybe tension in our neck, in our jaw, in our shoulders. We tend to carry lots of stress. It could manifest in our bodies, gastrointestinal stuff. it can make things harder to sleep if we're not working through that in some kind of way. And depending on our own personal life experiences prior to becoming caregivers, you all are choosing to become caregivers in this capacity with these great organizations. But whatever happened to our lives prior to this, if we have our own personal unresolved trauma or things from our past that we still haven't worked through, it can make the compassion fatigue happen much sooner, and it can be harder to manage the secondary trauma that we might experience being caregivers. So all the more reason for us to really establish a personal self-care routine. And I know self-care is kind of a buzzword right now in the media, on social media, but it really is important. It really is necessary. And I know people say, I don't have the time, but you have to make the time. And that doesn't mean you have to allot like a full hour every day. If you have that, that's great. But taking some time every day to refill yourself in some kind of way. And making that a priority for yourself, because if you're not well, the people around you can't be well. We won't have anything left to give to do the work that we're here to do. So making the time, finding some kind of, whether it's yoga or mindfulness or combination, or if it's getting outside and taking a walk, if it's sitting in silence, meditation, if that's your thing, finding something that fills you up, mind, body, and spirit, because you have to be well to continue to do this important work that we're all doing. Today, I'm going to share with you some yoga and mindfulness, so mindful movements, mindful breath work, some things that you can do literally sitting in your chair. There'll be a couple things where I'll stand up, but you can choose to sit when I stand up. But I wanted to offer some things that you could do anywhere. And I can't see all of you, so I don't know even if everybody has a yoga mat or what everybody is sitting on, but hopefully you have some space to find a little bit of movement. And know that as far as the yoga, if you have a body, you can practice yoga. If you can breathe, you can practice yoga. There's something there for everybody. It's not all about the crazy fancy poses. It's about finding a practice that works for you and works in your body. And our bodies are all different and beautiful in their own way. So figuring out what works, what feels good for you. And mindfulness is used in the practice of yoga, but mindfulness on its own is whatever you can do to be fully present in the moment, fully present with your senses. What can you see? What can you feel? What can you hear? What can you touch? When you get in touch with your senses and become aware of what's going around you, when you use your breath, it does help to calm the nervous system down. The breath is a very powerful tool that if you feel yourself getting a little anxious, or if you feel yourself getting a little triggered, using your breath in various ways can literally just help calm you down in the moment. So I hope that you find these tools helpful, and I hope that you continue to take good care of yourself. So we'll start with some practices. So I'm sitting in a chair, and you can start with your back kind of touching the chair, and then bring your hands to your thighs. Let yourself kind of sit up tall and kind of rock yourself side to side in your seat, and let yourself settle into stillness here. And then from the bottoms of your feet, so take a moment and press your toes down. I've got one foot on a mat, one foot on my hardwood floor, but notice what you feel underneath your feet. Notice what you feel underneath your toes. Maybe lift your toes up and then lower them back down. And then think about pressing both feet down, feeling that energy from the sole of your feet, moving up through your legs. Notice where your body's touching, where your seat is touching your chair. Maybe you feel the chair on your lower back, maybe your middle back. And then using your breath as you move, take an inhale and draw your shoulders up towards your ears. And then as you exhale, roll your shoulders down your spine. And we'll do that 2 more times. So moving with your breath, either inhaling in through your nose or mouth, whatever feels more comfortable for you. Inhaling deeply. And then exhaling. And then one more time, inhaling and exhaling. And then if you feel comfortable here, close your eyes for a few moments. And just take a few moments here and just notice what you hear right now in this moment, maybe other than the sound of my voice. Maybe you hear the rain falling out your window. Maybe you hear some clatter in the room next to you, the air circulating in the room. Notice and feel where your body's connected to the earth, and again to your chair. Notice where your hands are touching your legs. Maybe press down through your fingertips, your thumb tip. And then from here, I'd like you to start to deepen your breath. So we're going to do what's sometimes called box breathing. So I want you, if it feels comfortable in your body, to inhale in through your nose to a count of 4, and then exhale out through your mouth. But maybe if you have a stuffy nose, if that doesn't work for you today, maybe you're breathing in and out through your mouth. And when you exhale, I really want you to think about your exhale. So I want you to think about exhaling completely, squeezing your belly in. And when you focus on your exhales like that, the inhales will start to take care of themselves. Right? So we'll do this together and I'll count for a few cycles. So inhaling to a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling completely for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling completely for 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhaling completely for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then continue that a couple more cycles on your own. Inhaling fully. Exhaling completely. Feeling your chest rise and fall. Squeezing your belly in on those exhales. And then wherever you're at in that cycle, let's all take one more together. And then if your eyes were shut, you can start to blink open your eyes. All right. And then we'll add in some gentle movements here in our chair. So if your back was touching your chair, see if you can come forward in your chair a little bit. Make sure both feet are still pressing down. You're sitting up tall. And then maybe even take your hand to the top of your head and think about lengthening your neck, your spine. So your head is pressing into the bottom of your hand. Sitting up tall. Anchor your belly. So by that, I mean, draw your belly button in, keep everything firm. You're sitting up tall here. And then we're going to add in some movements, linking our breath with movement. So every movement will be on an inhale or an exhale. Just loosening things up in our neck, in our shoulders a little bit. Oftentimes when we are stressed and we're feeling stressed, we'll feel tightness in our jaw. A lot of us clench our jaws without even knowing it. Maybe check your jaw right now to see what's happening with it, but I find myself doing it a lot. And sometimes just giving myself a gentle massage. Oop, I lost the AirPod. Helps that out. All right, so bring your chin towards your chest. And then as you inhale, lift your head back up, and then exhale, ear to shoulder. Inhale to center, exhale, ear to opposite shoulder. Inhale back up. We'll do that one more time. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bring it back to center. All right, this time we'll add in some arm movement. So inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale, open up wide. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. This time, take one hand, grab your wrist, take it over to the opposite side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, opposite side. And you can always do this standing up or sitting in a chair. Inhale, back to center. And then bring your hands to the base of your skull. And then just look up, leaning your head back. This opens up your shoulders a little bit, your upper back a little bit. And then you can release. We'll take a few shoulder rolls here. Going up and back. And then changing directions, going forwards. Just trying to loosen things up a little bit. And then kind of shake it out. There's some days when I come home from school and I literally have to shake it out. Some days I come home from school as a teacher and I have to lay down for a minute before I do anything, but sometimes literally shaking out helps. All right, so taking your feet out wide here. So sitting up at the front of your chair. On an inhale, reach your arms up. And then as you exhale, if you feel comfortable in your body, fold yourself forward, coming through your legs, and let yourself be heavy, right? So you can always do this standing up. Keep your belly strong here to protect your lower back. If this causes any kind of pain ever, back up, right? And we'll meet you in just a moment. You should never feel pain ever in yoga. And then just kind of let your head hang out, let your head be heavy, and try to release that tension in your neck, letting go of anything you might be holding on to there. Maybe shaking your head out, yes. Shaking it out, no. We'll shake it yes again to end on a positive note. And then press both feet down into the ground as you slowly roll yourself up. Right, coming back up to sit. So that little folding forward and shaking your head out, you can do that in your chair. Like I said, you can also do that standing up if you feel comfortable. I do this often in between classes if I just need to get like an energy burst and to just kind of drain and release any of whatever happened in that block. Looks like this when you're standing up, bending your knees, let yourself be heavy. For me, energetically, it feels just like I'm releasing whatever just happened. So I highly recommend that. So coming back up to your seat here, bring your hands to your thighs. Let me check the time. Okay, and then as you inhale, reach your arms up. Okay, and then as you exhale, we're going to twist out to the right. So bring your left hand to your right knee. Your right hand can be on the back of your chair. You're sitting up tall. Gaze over your shoulder. And then on an inhale, I want you to see if you can sit up a little taller. And then as you exhale, maybe you twist a little deeper. So not forcing anything, but whenever you twist, you want to think about on your inhale, sit up a little taller, find a little length in your spine. And then as you exhale, twist. So twisting is really good to just release tension in your lower back. It's good for your digestive system. And then release. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then as you exhale, twist it out to the other side. Right, so gazing over that shoulder again, sitting up tall as you inhale. As you exhale, twist, not forcing anything, moving with your breath. And then release it. Inhale, reach your arms back up. And then exhale, bring your hands down to your knees. This next little flow is called a cat-cow flow. So when we're on our mats in yoga, we do this on all four from like a tabletop position. But you can do this in a chair. It's a great thing to do if you've been sitting at your computer for an extended amount of time. We are often rounding our shoulders and spines just on our keyboards or on our phones. And this helps to counter some of that and to find some expansion in your chest, open up your heart, and just get some relief in your lower back. So from the chair, it looks like this, bringing your hands to your knees, press both feet down into the earth. And then as you inhale, press your hands into your knees, move your shoulders away from your ears, lift your gaze. And then as you exhale, you're going to round your spine, bring your chin towards your chest. So arching your back like you're a cat. And then as you inhale, hands press into your knees, start to lift your gaze. And then as you exhale, round your spine, chin to chest. And we'll do that a few more times. Inhale. And exhale. So just by linking our movement with our breath, being mindful of our inhales and exhales, just that simple connection, that mind, body, breath connection helps to calm our nervous system down. It helps to give us some energy. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then bring it back to center. And we'll take an inhale in through our nose and open up your mouth, long exhale. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. All right. These next movements, of course, too, could be done sitting in your chair or standing up as well. I'm going to do them, this one in particular, sitting down. So again, sitting towards the front of your chair, just a little bit more movement. So to start, I want you to just take your knees and kind of just like let them windshield wiper side to side, maybe hold on to the side or the back of your chair for a little extra support. It's kind of getting some opening in our hips. Our hips as human beings, pretty much everything we do makes our hips tight, whether we sit too much or we run a lot or walk a lot or work out a lot. Our hips tend to get tight no matter what we do as humans because they get so much use on a day-to-day basis. And then energetically, a lot of the tension and stress energetically that's held in our hips, it can also be emotional, energetic tension that gets stuck there from an energetic spot. So sometimes when we spend a lot of time opening our hips in a yoga practice, we might get an emotional release. So just something to be aware of as you practice yoga, if you continue to practice yoga and you are spending a lot of time doing some hip openers. So for this next movement, this is going to be a hip opener. It's going to be stretching our outer hip. It is a seated pigeon or half pigeon pose, if you're familiar with any kind of yoga practice. So, and everybody's knees are different. So again, if you feel any pain when you do this, please just back up. You don't ever want to force anything. That's how we injure ourselves. Or if you feel pain, that's your body trying to alert you to something. So please never, when you are practicing yoga, push yourself through any pain. I think runners get that instruction sometimes, like run through the pain. No. I don't think you should do it in running either, but your pain is your body trying to say something. So if this is available in your body, take one ankle and cross it over your knee. So depending on how much opening you have, your knee might look something like this. You might be able to get that knee down a little bit more, but again, we're not forcing anything. And I do want you to flex this foot that's on the knee. So for me, this is my right foot. That just gives a little bit more support for our knees and our ligaments here. So sitting up tall, and then the idea is that the more that your knee is pushing away from your body, the more stretch you're going to feel in your outer hip. So this is like essentially like a form of pigeon pose or a figure 4. You can do this lying on your back on the mat too, which is really nice. You can do this as a balancing pose, which we are also going to do here in a few moments. But as you're holding these types of stretches, breathing deeply, being mindful of your breath, long inhales, long exhales. Staying here for one more inhale. Exhale. And then we'll bring that foot down, and then just taking that same kind of windshield wiping our legs, holding onto the chair for a little extra support if needed. And then we'll move on to the other side. Right, so again, that opposite ankle is going to come over that knee. Right? And everybody's different. So your knee might be somewhere up here. Right? I like to remind people that come to my community yoga classes, I'm like 6 feet tall, and there are some things that my friends who practice yoga who are 5'3" or 4 can do in their bodies that I will never be able to do, simply because I am as tall as I am and I have the body shape that I do. And that's okay. It's not about a perfect pose. It's about figuring out what works for you and your body. And when you do that, that's when the real goodness happens. When you let go of that comparison, there's no you should be anything. It's about however you are in that moment, however you showed up. We'll take one more breath together. And then we can bring both feet back down, and we'll just do the same windshield wiper with our knees. And then we're gonna do a couple here, standing balances. Again, you could do this sitting down if that feels better for you. We're gonna do just a little bit more hip opening here. If you need a little balancing support, of course, you can hang onto a chair or a wall, whatever you have, a friend, if you're doing this with somebody. So for this, whatever foot's closer to the chair, I want you to kind of shift your weight over to that foot. And then you can hold on for some extra support or not, whatever you're feeling today. Some days it's just harder to find balance than others. That's just how it is. And then I want you to take your opposite knee up, flex your foot as you do that, keep your core strong. And then we're just going to take some movements here, bringing it back down. We'll try to move with our breath. So inhaling, exhaling. And let's do that about 10 times. So working on balance, moving with our breath. Balancing poses are some of my favorite to do in my own personal practice, especially when I'm doing yoga work with my students at school. Because in order to keep balance, you really have to be mindful. You really have to focus, and it forces them to really focus, which involves focusing your eyes on one thing, focusing your breath. Because if we're looking all around and not paying attention, right, we're going to fall over. I lost track of where I was at. I'm going to do it 2 more times. And then we'll come back and you can just shake that out. Okay. And then we'll do that on the other side as well. Okay. So shifting your weight over to that opposite foot, and then lifting that opposite knee up, strong core. And then again, taking it about 10 times, moving with your breath. It's definitely more challenging to continue to talk while keeping your balance, because really the key to balance is focused breath, focused eyes. And if you were sitting in your chair, you could just bring yourself to the front of the chair, lifting one leg at a time. I'm going to do one more. And then again, shake it out. All right. So in a standing position, again, if you'd like to hang on to the chair, arms by your sides. If you feel comfortable, take a moment and close your eyes here. And just take this time to come back to your breath. Breathing long inhales in through your nose, long exhales out through your nose or out through your mouth, whatever feels more comfortable. Feel the earth underneath your feet, maybe even kind of balance your weight front, back, side to side. If you're sitting in your chair, doing this on your seat. Right? Allow yourself to feel that support of the earth beneath you. And then let yourself settle into stillness, pressing your feet, your toes down, feeling that strength moving up through your feet, through your legs, your hips, your center, your chest is lifted. And then again, let's all take a breath. Inhale in through your nose. Open up your mouth, let it go. Right, and we will do one more standing balance here. So again, you could hang on to your chair, right? Or you could do this without the support. And then same as if when we were sitting, we're going to do that figure 4. So also a little balance, a little bit of a hip opener too. So taking that right ankle over left knee or opposite from whatever's closest to the chair, and then start to drop your hips, your seat, right? Flexing that foot. So if this is not comfortable for you, you could also maybe find a tree pose. Tree pose, you're gonna have maybe one toe grounded, maybe a foot to your shin. Maybe that foot comes up higher anywhere but on your knee. Right? If you'd like to play with more of a balance, or if you'd like to get more of a hip opener, if that feels good for you, you could be here. Okay? And then if you're here and you wanted to maybe challenge your balance, you could let go of whatever you're using for support. Continuing to breathe deeply wherever you're at. Continuing to keep your eyes focused on one thing. And then we'll press that standing foot down to lift ourselves up and shake it out. And we will just rotate, switching sides. So again, if you like that hip opener and you want a little extra hip love, you could be here and drop your seat into this figure 4. If you want to play around maybe with tree pose, a little bit more balancing, maybe you kickstand on a big toe, maybe you bring that foot to your shin, anywhere but directly on your knee. Maybe that foot comes up a little higher. And again, you're still breathing deeply. Taking one more inhale, staying for an exhale. And then you can release and shake it out. And then we'll make our way back down into our seats. Hands coming back to your knees. We'll take a couple more of those cat-cow flows here. So press your feet down into the earth and press your hands into your knees. Inhale, lift your gaze. Exhale, round your spine, chin to chest. Inhaling, lift your gaze. And exhaling. Taking that 3 more times on your own. And coming back to your center. And then from here, you could press back into your chair so you feel that support of your chair on your back now. And then if you feel comfortable here, close your eyes. Hands can come to the tops of your thighs. If it feels better for you to have maybe palms facing up. So oftentimes in yoga, we say, if you're feeling like you need some more energy from the universe or what have you, then leave your palms facing up. You're feeling like you need to get more grounded. If you need that grounding energy, then we say palms down. So whatever you're feeling here in this moment. And then bring your attention to the soles of your feet. Bring your attention to your toes, lifting your toes up off of the ground if you're barefoot, or maybe lifting them up in your shoe if you still have your shoes on. Fanning your toes out if that's accessible, and then lower your toes back down. Feeling both feet evenly pressing down into the earth. Feeling that support, feeling that connection. Allowing yourself to accept that support. Bringing your attention, moving up through your calf muscles, allowing now the muscles in your feet, in your calves to relax. Allowing your hips, your thighs, your seat to be heavy in your chair. Feeling that support of the chair beneath you. Allowing your hips, your belly to release and be heavy. Letting go of any tension in your chest. Allowing your shoulders to be heavy. Your upper arms, your forearms, your fingers and your thumb to be heavy. Allow your jaw to be soft. And then allow yourself to simply be, anchoring yourself in that awareness of your body, anchoring yourself in this moment with your breath. So if you are someone who maybe has already wandered off to your dinner plans after this or your to-do list, come back to your breath. Feel your inhales. Feel your exhales. Just allowing yourself to be. Maybe coming back to your breath if you have wandered off. And then bring your right hand to your heart with your left hand resting gently on top of your right hand. And take a few moments, feel the rhythm of your heart beating. Feel the rhythm of your breath. And know that your breath is always there for you, no matter where you are. It's a perfect tool to bring you back to yourself, to this moment. And let's all take one more collective breath together. Deep inhale in through your nose. Open up your mouth and let it all go. And then when you're ready, you can start to blink open your eyes if they were shut. Maybe bring the corners of your mouth up to a little smile if that feels good for you. If it does feel good for you, share that smile with somebody else tonight. And I hope that you find some of those practices helpful and useful. And I hope to see you all again soon.
Thank you so much, Michelle. That was a wonderful way to spend an hour. And
you're
now
welcome
I'm
so much.
Relaxed.
You're
well, thank
welcome
you
so much. Sure, you're welcome. Thank you all for coming.
So we have one more session today, and now that we're relaxed, we can maybe take on a difficult session. It begins at 5 and it's called Having Hard Conversations with Clients. So we can take a break here for half an hour and then come back.
Yep, it begins at 5:30, everybody.
5:30, yes.
I was just reading the chat. Thank you all. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Thank you.